Welcome to another WashingtonLakes.com fishing trip. You can see we're properly attired. We're going to be doing bass winter fishing. It's February 3rd. We're down at Jean Coulon Park and it's 32 degrees. My layers have layers, but I think we're going to be okay. We're fishing today with Mark Maderos. He's a pro bass staffer. And also we have Big Bass Dez, one of our regulars from the forum and from the website. So Mark, why don't you give us the lowdown on what we're doing today?
All right, winter smallmouth fishing. Yes, you can actually catch some really nice fish out there. Today's conditions are, most of the time we're looking at cloudy, overcast, foggy, nasty, cold, just ugly weather. And those are the good days that you really want to be out. The fish are nice and active. Today we have clear skies. And what we may find is that the fish will be moving up to some very key few spots, and then it's just going to be a matter of are they going to hit or not. But today, what I do in the winter time, a lot of is I throw a heavy lead head combination. This is a 3/4 ounce. And I throw a lot of tubes and big tubes. I throw anywhere from a 4 to a 5-inch tube in the wintertime. And I normally stick with your natural colors, your browns, your greens, and all of that. And then up from that, a couple feet, I have a drop shot hook set up also. And I run this combination rig because the fish, most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, I get bit on this heavy lead head. But it's on those rare occasions I do get bit on the drop shot, it's usually a big fish, and it's usually over 4 pounds. Why that is, who knows, but it is what it is, and it's just from spending time out on the water and kind of learning what the fish like. The other technique we use, it's called the robh rig. And what I learned most about cold weather smallmouth bass fishing, I learned from this rig, because I was able to cover tremendous amounts of water. And it sounds weird, but in wintertime you are power fishing. It's not about fishing slow, it's about finding places where fish hold at and then covering those spots throughout the day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, because the fish are there. It's just a matter of being there when they decide to eat. And the robh rig's a powerful tool for doing that. What it is, we have a small crankbait, and the ones that we use this is a jointed shad wrap. We also use the jointed Rapala minnow and then just the regular Rapala minnow. You run that up to a 3-way swivel right here, and then off of that swivel we're going to have anywhere from 4, 5, 6 feet down to our 2-ounce lead or 3-ounce lead, enough weight because we're fishing in anywhere from 35 to 65 feet. Okay. And then you run your leader back to your crankbait, and I run a monofilament leader because I want a little bit of stretch because my main line's braid. Yeah. So and braid doesn't stretch, so we want a little bit of give. And then by being able to cover a tremendous amount of water, because we're moving along at 0.9 to 1.5 speed-wise, and it's almost like a downrigger system if you were trolling or whatever, but it's a way where you can actively feel the bottom and what's down there on the bottom. So
it's bottom bouncing, with kind of like walleye fishing. You'd run a bottom walker, that type of thing.
Exactly, and in fact this rig is originally a walleye type rig that they run in the Great Lakes area.
And how long is the leader from the lure to the 3-way swivel?
I usually run about a 3 to 6 foot leader. Okay. But there are other guys who I learned this technique from. They'll run 2 feet. It's really not that much of a difference. And later on the day, as we fish and we kind of figure out what the fish are doing, we'll talk about some of the subtleties of both these techniques to hone in on what the fish want that particular day. So, Des here.
I'm actually going to do some experimenting today with a couple different lead heads. I got a tube tied up in 176 grub on a football head, which is pretty typical common bait, and it can be fishier around here in Washington. I'm also going to try out a Carolina rig today, which is another great wintertime bait because it's it's one of those deals to where you can cover a great amount of water when you're fan casting, and it's kind of like what Mark was saying before. This time of the year, you just really want to throw as many different presentations to these fish just to kind of see what they want to home in on. It's not a one bait that's going to do it for you all day type deal. Find the fish first and give them something different to look at.
This is your first year, you said.
It's my first year winter bass fishing, so it's a learning experience at the same time. But I've actually produced quite a few and haven't produced anything smaller than 2.5 pounds this year, so it's pretty effective. Yeah.
So winter can mean big fish.
Absolutely.
Maybe not as many fish, but big fish.
And that's why we come out here. Is on an average day, I'm catching between 2 and 4 fish, but 3 of those fish will be over 3 pounds, and usually one of them will be a 4-pounder plus. And so you don't get a lot of fish, but what you do get is pretty much all quality. I think the smallest fish I've ever caught in the winter time is over at Sammamish, and I caught one that was about 12.5 inches. The smallest one I've caught out here in the winter time is maybe 1.5 pounds, 1.3 quarters. You catch quite a few in the 2.5 pound range, but most of them are 2.5 to 3.5 pounds. And then you occasionally get those 4+, 5+ size fish.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're going to go steelheading in the winter, you're going to freeze your tail off, but your odds maybe you'll catch a steelhead once in a while. So let's see how we do with winter bass fishing and go get those fish. We haven't been out here for much more than 10-15 minutes. We're working the first hole, and I've got a nice fish here. Using a drop shot rig, we've been slowly trolling along an offshore hump, and there's a nice.
There is a beautiful smallie.
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
How about that for your first little fish?
Oh,
huh? This is why we come out here,
God.
Mike.
That is essentially a
hog.
5.5 pound smallie.
Look at that hog.
Maybe 6. That is a true giant world-class smallmouth bass right there, ladies and gentlemen.
How's that for an introduction to winter bass fishing on Lake Washington? Here, let's throw this there's our little drop shot worm we used. That is just totally sweet. All right.
So we can look at right here, that's the line of that fish heading back down to the bottom, so that we know he went back down, because one of the things we are concerned about when we fish for these fish at these depths is its air bladder. When you pull a fish up out of deep water, they can actually get what would be the equivalent of the bends, and we have to release that fish within a minute or two after pulling it up, or then we have to do what's called fizzing the fish, which is you have to poke a hole in their air bladder and deflate that air bladder for them so they can get back down. So there's our hero. There's the guy is ready for the tournament trail.
Just put the rod and reel in my hand and give me the right bait, and I'm good.
We got a boated one back here.
Hold that up.
They're all just little piglets this time of the year.
He's about 13 inches and probably 3.5 pounds.
Yeah.
I'd say a solid 2.5. I think that's 3, Mark.
He's breaking out the scale. I'm gonna split the difference, say about 2.5. Oh geez, we just went over a big ball of bait fish with some arches right on the bottom.
Nice. Bait's in the water.
Yeah.
Do some rev rigging. We hadn't been doing much with heavy plastics, lead heads and stuff, and we've probably gone 100 yards, and I just hooked up on a fish, the classic jointed shad wrap in the crawdad and orange belly color. Oh, look what we got. That's why. We have nailed a big trout.
Hey, there's dinner.
That's right, dinner, baby. Now the real trick's going to be not to bury a treble hook into my finger with this thing. So one of the things about red rigging is you do get the double bonus of catching some real nice trout out here on Washington or Sammamish.
Another fine trout produced by Mr. Carey here on the infamous Rev rig.
That's about what the other one was. All right, so there's a nice little dinner time trout.
Yep, throw them in the.
Not exactly what we're looking for, but that's okay.
So far we've had a trophy size smallie and we got dinner.
Yeah, definitely have dinner.
So we've pulled up on this area here, and you can see in 37 feet there's a fish right on the bottom, really just hugging it. This is one of those smallie spots that they pull up when it gets sunny like this and kind of come up on top of this stuff. So we're going to try and see if we can't get a few fish to bite here. We're up north now, up by Kirkland. We ran out of the South Channel. Wasn't a lot going on. Got that one good one first thing this morning, but we're going to give this a work.
Ooh. Hey, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say that was a squaw just because of how vicious that bite was.
Nah, that was a smallie, buddy. You throwing the 176?
No, man, I want a drop shot back here.
You running your little drop shot back there? I'm
Yeah.
going to throw the 176.
I think that's what I started to, but I just wanted, there was a couple fish up under the boat, so I just kind of wanted to see if I can home in on it, but that pulled down really hard, man.
If you don't want it, I'll eat it.
You had me going there, man.
I knew that was a smallie.
Whatever. You had me
There's
going
a
with
small
it too.
trout. A smallie trout.
A smallie trout.
Dez has got the
Attaboy,
skunk
Dez.
skunk off for today, huh, Dez?
Whatever.
Okay, Mike's slaying the trout now. Our smallie trip is turning into a trout trip, unfortunately. But it is.
Exactly what we're out
Yeah,
for,
I mean,
but
for all you trout fishermen, hey, you can catch them, kill them out here on bass gear too. So, good job, Mike. Okay, we got action again. We don't know if that looks like a smallie
oh yeah,
tip
that's a nice
pulling on it. Oh, another one. Mike is just on fire with the giant smallies today. We have caught two smallies. Mike's caught them both, and they're both have been giants. That is about a 4.5 pounder right there. Really, really long fish. Same little shrimp colored bait. And what's interesting, look on the scales on the side there, Mike. You see the little scales that are messed up? Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really nice solid 4-pound smallie. Good work.
Good job, Mike.
So this is winter bass fishing here on Lake Washington. I mean, it's been tough.
Except for
Not
the
a lot
trout.
of fish, except for the
The
trout.
trout bite's been awesome today.
Not a lot of fish, but the ones you catch,
Are just giants.
they are giants. All right, we're gonna put this little guy back.
Okay, more action. Mike caught another one. He is in fuego. Look at the size of this one. Another one. That's just a football. The last one was really long.
A little bit over 3.
This one is probably 3.5, and just an absolute football. Another nice fish, all on the drop shot. It's been really strange today, getting very few bites on the heavy lead heads. It's almost all been drop shot bites, and Mike's just been dragging his drop shot.
I gotta say that I owe this fish to Mark, since he saw the fish on the fish finder and steered the boat, put my bait right on top of the fish. So
And it didn't take but 10 seconds after I said there's a fish right on the bottom. We had doink.
yep, there he is.
Beautiful.
Good job. That's a good one
Drop
right there.
shot and is the king today. Oh, it's another giant.
Another trout.
No,
That's the squawfish.
It's a squawfish. Oh. You never know what you're gonna catch.
You can pull it in your boat.
You just don't know what you're gonna catch.
That's just
Lake
wrong. Wrong, I say.
On so many levels wrong. Oh wow.
I really thought that was a smallie the way he was moving his head.
No way, man. No way.
Dez says it's a smallie. Mike doesn't have an opinion yet, but he might say it's just a big trout.
No way. Worked too hard for this one.
I don't have a dog in this hunt.
Sure you do. It's a black lab.
If you guys
It's a gray squawfish dog.
you guys are noticing, I'm trying my best
Hey,
to.
you're making it look bigger than it is. I know that.
I'm trying to take my time about bringing it up. That's another thing that's important about fishing this deeper water. You want to take your time bringing that fish up. Another. Cut the film. Can we just cut the film? Can we just stop this? Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Embarrassing. Oh
It's that same squawfish.
gosh. What is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, check the gill plate to see if it's not the same one. Where I cut him. Oh, he's definitely bigger than my squawfish.
Oh,
Way to go, Dez. Yeah.
That is the
Good
fish.
squawfish, baby.
That is the fish of the day right there.
This is horrible. I'm so embarrassed right now.
No, what's horrible is it's going to go on the video.
Oh my gosh, that's bad, Mike. I wouldn't do that, man. What fish? What happened? Got snagged, man.
All right.
That's what you call a snag on Lake Washington.
Nice fish, Dez.
I'd say no comment, but you're welcome.
Wow.
Now you understand why we come out here, huh, Mike?
We do have the record button on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Solid round.
Yeah, solid round red dot.
How about that for winter fishing?
You know, all my bass fishing buddies are absolutely going to just rail me.
Yeah, dude.
You don't edit these out.
Yeah, seriously. Mike, you gotta help us. We got a reputation to maintain.
So is that going to live well? Apparently not.
Different kind of live well. And no, that's not considered dumping.
All right. Well, we released that fish live.
That's about all we have to say about it.
We don't know how long it's going to be live, but
That was huge.
it was a live release.